Hey, this is Mad Brad from Tribe Gaming. This is a Twintania kill with some commentary showing you how we did it, so you can do it as well. Let's go. So for most of the time, when I'm not talking, I'll be having our mumble overlay going over the video, just so you can see how we communicate to each other. One thing that you will notice is that we have our Black Mage calling out death sentences. There's an app that gives you a timer on death sentences so you know when it occurs. Every time you use it, there's a minimum of 30 seconds between each death sentence. So when he uses a death sentence, there's 30 seconds, and after that, he can cast it at any time. So our Black Mage is running that app, and he gives our tank a 5-second overlay every time, so we know when he comes, so we can get his cooldowns ready, as well as the healers. So throughout the fight, I'm going to be going to a different perspective. This is our Black Mage. He has the Twintania app overlay. You can see it in the bottom right-hand corner. You see the green bar that's ticking down. That's the death sentence timer.
Alright,
so
well
that's
then
how
I'll
we
say
get our counts from it. As you can see, even though the counter did run out, he didn't immediately cast it. He does have a priority list. The 30 seconds just gives you a timer to when he has it available on his table to cast. So
DPS stop.
So the reason why we have our DPS stop here is to get a certain rotation going into phase 2. We want him to dive to death sentence right before we go into the phase 2 transition. This allows for a set rotation on the conflags that we can handle, and it makes it more smooth for us. So we did this the first few attempts. After we had a few under our belt, we switched it up. But for the beginning, this is definitely what I'd recommend, because it makes handling phase 2 and 4 a lot easier.
Blue's next.
So if you time it like we do and get a death sentence right before the change, the rotation that you'll get is red, followed by a blue. During that blue, a red. After that, you'll get another red, followed by a quick blue. Then it will rinse and repeat. So it's red, then blue, with a red during that blue. Then you'll get another red, followed by a quick blue. The reason we do it that way is the order is simple. You don't have blues and reds going off at random times. And also during the blues, majority of the time Twintania will cast her death sentence during that conflags. So we have our tank run in every single time, and it helps our healers out.
Ready for the quick blue.
Few things. One, don't be bad like me and not run underneath Twintania and almost wipe the raid. Second, the reason why this every other blue, we call it quick blue, is because we have nobody with a red that runs into it. When somebody with red runs into the conflag, it resets the timer, so it's actually longer than normal. So every other one, I would recommend popping your cooldown to make sure you burn that one down quickly.
There it is.
Also, you want to make sure that your tank is topped off before he runs into the conflag. You can't heal him when he is in there, so you want to have him topped off. If he isn't, be ready with a lustrate or something as soon as he comes out of it.
$62.
Get ready for the red, then quick blue.
$58.
Twintania pushes into phase 3 at around 55%. One thing you do want to avoid happening is having somebody in the conflag when she does do her phase change and goes up for phase 3. So if you ever have any problems on DPS, whether being too slow or too fast, take note of that and kind of adjust it accordingly. It really varies on what group you're in. And we got dive bombs. 2 sets of 3 dive bombs. If at any point you do get hit, run around in a circle until you get to the next set. That'll help preventing the raid from getting hit by it if you get targeted. Here is a great example of what to do if you do get hit and running in a circle.
Run away,
We'll also
little
hear
girl.
the Runaway Little
Run
Girl.
away.
That is a Twintania app feature that lets you know when the dive bombs are coming.
Run away, little
I wouldn't
girl.
use it
Run
as
away.
it has a half-second delay, but in case you're bad, you can use it.
Run away, little girl. Run away.
Few things to note here. One, there's 45 seconds when the ads spawn to the next set of dive bombs. If you have the Twintania app, it will let you know. If you don't, we have our mage pop mana wall. It's a 60-second cooldown, so you can track it at about 15 seconds, so it gives us a general estimate. The second is we do kill one of these instead of leaving them all up. This helps the healers, makes it easier for them when they're having to run out for this next set of dive bombs. So looking back at the app, unfortunately the resolution isn't very clear, but you'll see the text log pop up at a 15-second marker and a 5-second marker. Right there is a 15, and then in a little bit you will get the 5. So that just shows you how it'll show up on your app.
5.
Really nothing I can say about this next set of dive bombs, except you just gotta get in there and practice and get a feel for when they go off. So each of these ads, when they die, they explode, and they give everybody in that area of explosion a debuff that increases damage done to them. So one thing the tank can do with some practice is range himself away from the explosion, but make sure Ascalon is in it. So Ascalon gets the debuff, but not him. Regardless, though, you want to have the big snake get both of the debuffs when they die here. The transition from Phase 3 to Phase 4 is timed after the last dive bomb. The Twintania app will show you an exact time, but it is pretty close to when you're killing him, as you can see. You want everybody to stand in the Neuralink, because what the Neuralink does is it reduces damage you do, but also damage you take, so it makes you ready. And then we're into Phase 4. Scrolling back a little bit, just to show you a few things. This phase right here is when we use our limit break to help burn down the ads the fastest. It takes a little get used to. Tanks find a spot and go there consistently. It'll help your mage. Also, I just wanted to show the app, because at the bottom corner it does give a 30-second, 15-second, and 5-second until the next phase. Similar to in between the 2 dive bomb phases.
Voting?
As soon as this transition happens, your off-tank needs to provoke Twintania, putting him second on the aggro table. This guarantees the Dread Knight not target him and stun him, so he can stun the Dread Knight as soon as it spawns.
Death sentence soon.
On Roz.
To handle these Death Knights,
sentence.
this is why we recommend having a Paladin off-tank, because his stuns do more. You want to use your Paladin stuns and perma-stun him as long as possible. He has a 6-second stun. You let him take a half step, you stun him again. Let him take a half step, stun him again. That gives you the longest uptime. It saves you about 2.5 seconds as opposed to using a monk, dragoon, or warrior stuns.
Ready for the twister?
Stun.
So if you kept the death sentence rotation,
Death sentence.
as we did it in Phase
Twister.
2, your rotation here is going to be Twister, Death Knight, Twister, Death Knight with a Twister during that night, another Twister,
Twister's gonna be next.
Death Knight, Twister, Knight with a Twister during. So just back and forth. Every other Dread Knight usually has a Twister during it.
Comes a twister. The
You
Dread
can see
Knight.
over on the left side of my screen in the middle, I
Sound
do
again.
have a focus target on Twintania. This allows me
There's
to
the Death
view
Sentence.
twisters when I'm hitting a Dread Knight. I strongly recommend having that up for
Right for the
anybody,
Twister.
so you don't get tunnel vision on the Knight and don't see the twisters when they're coming off. If you forget a twister and keep DPSing, odds are you're going to get
Twister.
hit with that twister and you're going to die.
Right for the Dread Knight.
Thunder Eye. Oh, somebody's got. Mine's up. Never mind.
Death Sentence soon too. It's the Dread Knight.
It's on
Right
Roz.
for the Death Sentence. And Twister. There's Death Sentence. Get ready for the Twister. Twister.
One thing that's very important this phase is if somebody
Get a res
does
on
die,
Ross.
not to panic. Know who's going to res him, get that
33%.
off, and you should be able to keep going just fine.
32.
Ready for the Twister. Here it comes.
$29.
So Twintania does fit switch into phase 5
Transition.
about 30%. We try to push him there and to avoid this Knight, but we
And Death
didn't.
Sentence.
So if that does happen, just burn him down and then go into phase 5. You have the
Thunder
off-tank
Eye.
stand in the Neuralink right underneath Twintania.
Mine's
This
available when
will
you need
allow
it.
him to take all
Hog
of
out.
the hatches and blow up right on top of him. And this prevents any other DPS having to worry about the hatches. This makes the location of the final one fairly important. So you can see where
Get ready for
the
Death
main
Sentence.
tank is tanking and the off tank
Gonna happen after this
right
living hell.
underneath it. Twintania, this is where those hatches spawn.
Don't worry about me.
There's the Death Sentence.
The only other ability Twintania has is these Living Hells.
mana.
Similar to her ads in the first phase, however, she will cast them in sequential of 6 directly at a person. You just need to run around in a circle.
Get ready for
Try
Death
not to run
Sentence.
over people. If you're a melee,
It's gonna
run
happen after this
directly
Living Flame.
away from Twintania and just run a circle. Pretty easy
I should go here for a little
mechanic. Yeah, I mean, if you've got this far,
It'll come soon,
you
hold on.
basically have the cat in the bag. The one thing that
I'm playing now.
you have left that could kill you is the RH timer.
Man, it's
So
not coming.
burn hard and get your fat boots.
Keep up. Stay focused.
Hi, Ross.
Get ready for a Death Sentence. It's gonna happen after this Living Flame.
How are you going to mana? I'm gonna take it off. It's off right anyway.
Okay.
Use the Link Break. There's Death Sentence.
Use the limit.
Use the limit. We're not gonna reach level 2.
Now, if you ever do get to the point where the enrage is killing you, you can look at not stopping from your phase 1 to phase 2.
And a flawless fucking.
But usually
kill.
that will only happen if you have 3 or 4 people die during the
He was
fight
getting ready
on
for
your
a
first
rage
kill,
kill.
so I wouldn't
Well, I
worry
just,
about
we
it
lost
too much.
Ross. We lost Ross, but it was all right.
So what you're trying to say is it's okay if Ross dies.
It actually is. I'm the easiest one to recover.
Yeah,
I
because
don't
you
need
have the
TP
mana.
in my mana
Alright, and that's
goes
going to
back
do it.
instantly.
Thanks again for
Honestly,
watching.
yeah, Mad
Hopefully
Breath
this
probably
will
the worst
help
thing
you out a
happened.
little bit as you try to get Twintania down. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Love your opinions. Let me know.